You sit down with your financial advisor. They slide across a retirement plan, charts, projections, and a shiny binder thick enough to be a doorstop. Looks solid, right? Wrong. It's glorified math homework, and the price of following it, a retirement lifestyle that doesn't add up. It's your favourite Scotsman here again, and let's get stuck in. A couple I'll call Mark and Susan. These aren't their real names, to be clear. Came into my office, they thought they were set. On paper, the plan looked great. They even had a large RESP that ballooned after a couple of stock picks went their way. But here's the catch. The plan had no strategy at all for how to draw it down. No tax planning, no estate planning, nothing. What they had wasn't peace of mind, it was a false sense of security. And that's the problem with these cookie cutter plans. They look polished, but the cracks show fast once you dig in. Let me walk you through the biggest red flags to watch for, starting with the most obvious one. If your so-called plan didn't ask for tax returns, notices of assessment, wills or insurance documents, it's not a plan. It's a template. Real planning starts with understanding your full financial picture, not just plugging numbers into a spreadsheet. And once you open it up, it's always the same withdrawal order. Non-registered first, then RRSP, then TFSA. Simple? Sure. Tax efficient? Not even close. A real strategy looks at your situation, not a formula someone copied out of a training manual. Then there's the way couples are treated. These plans look at each person in isolation. No thought to pension splitting, spousal tax credits, or coordinating benefits. That might be leaving money on the table. Spending projections. Flat. Right the way through to age 90 or 95. No go-go years, no slow-go years, no no-go years. No allowance for a new car, a big family trip, or helping the kids out. It looks neat in a binder, but real life doesn't follow straight lines. And don't even get me started on stress testing. In these plans, markets never crash. Inflation never spikes. Nothing ever goes wrong. If your plan only works in a perfect world, it's not really a plan at all. One of my favourites, OAS clawback. These binders will happily push you right over the threshold and never say a word. That's thousands of dollars in lost benefits, all because nobody bothered to look. And while we're on the subject of ignoring things, what about the end of the journey? No estate planning, no long-term care planning, no mention of probate fees, end-of-life tax bills, or what happens if you need assisted living. It's like running a marathon and pretending the finish line doesn't exist. And finally, the cherry on top, return assumptions. It looks great to plug in 6 or 7% growth year after year, but markets don't care about your spreadsheet. And Mark and Susan's plan, their advisor had penciled in nearly 10% every single year. Why? Because that's what they happened to get over the last little while. That's not planning. Simply put, that is misleading. Very quickly, if you don't want to fall into the same trap Mark and Susan nearly did, I've put together a free retirement guide. Grab it from the link in the pinned comment below. Okay, back to it. This is all fair and well, Scotsman, but if the cookie cutter binder isn't a plan, what does a real retirement plan actually look like? Well, first of all, a real plan isn't static. It doesn't sit in a binder gathering dust. It's adaptive. It changes as your life changes. Incomes shift, tax rules get rewritten, and markets misbehave. The truth is, other than death and taxes, there aren't many guarantees when it comes to the future. But folks, I can add another to that list. It won't happen exactly like those projections in the glossy binder, which is why a real plan has to be flexible. It also answers the questions that actually matter. When should you take CPP and OAS? In what order should you draw from your accounts so you're not handing a donation to the CRA every year? And how do you keep that tax bill low, not just once, but with ongoing reviews every single year? A real plan goes beyond income. It looks at the whole family and possible trigger events. What happens if one spouse passes away? How do you protect your partner, your kids, or maybe even your grandkids? How do you leave a legacy without half of it disappearing to probate fees or the final tax bill? And it's not just numbers. A real plan connects the money to your life, your lifestyle, your goals, and even the things you want to give back. Retirement isn't just about making it to 90 or 95. It's about living well along the way. If you own a business, what happens to it? Does it provide income in retirement? Does it get sold? Passed down? Insurance matters too. Life, health, long-term care. Not because anybody loves paying premiums, but because it protects your family and your plan when life throws something unexpected your way. And here's the part people miss. A real plan isn't built in isolation. It coordinates your tax planning, your legal work, and even your estate documents, because everything in your financial life touches something else. Finally, a real plan stress tests market crashes, inflation spikes, unexpected care costs, and estate taxes. It's not about predicting the future, it's about preparing for it so you're never blindsided. So, let's bring it back full circle. That glossy binder from the bank, it's not a plan, it's a doorstop. A real plan is living, flexible, and built around your family, your goals, and your future. If you haven't already, grab my free retirement guide from the link in the pinned comment below. And if you want to take the next step, watch this video right here where I break down the top 10 retirement mistakes you can fix today. Chances are you're making at least one of them, and fixing it now could save your retirement.